Okay, that's the starting point. Give me a minute, everyone. And thank you for being here. Yes, hello everyone, and thank you for being here. Namaskar to whoever I have not said hello to everyone. This is my hello to everyone. Okay, so today diving into a very funny topic of which I know nothing about. And so we go into this topic of purity. I totally say I know nothing about because I know nothing about being pure. And that's where all the fun is, in being impure. So when this topic only came up, purity and Satvik, along with it came the word Satvik. And to even think of the word Satvik, I only kind of understand as, yes, there are three kind of gunas, like, Satvik, Tamasic, and Rajasic. And that's all. I don't know much about them. I haven't dived much into them. And so when Mani said we should talk about it, I said, okay, let's talk about it and where all it takes. Otherwise, I only knew that a lot of people say that we have to eat this sattvic food. So everybody is kind of focused on sattvic food. And when it comes to food, we've already talked about so many different kinds of judgments that we hold for food and how we can release those judgments. We will touch upon them again today. But just to begin with, so today, as we started with the word sattvic, and Mani said, at least today, since you're going into a word, at least find out what the definition is. So one of the definitions, and I'm just simply going to read it out from here, and it says, all right, so Satvik, it seems impossible to even imagine life the Satvik way. First, let's dive into the meaning of being Satvik. It means living a pure life. It includes not eating any kind of non-vegetarian food, eggs, fish included in that. It also requires to be non-alcoholic, not drinking any drinks containing alcohol, including beer, staying away from drugs and any kind of intoxicating substance. It also includes non-smoking. It includes being faithful and committed to one person only. When a person's object in life is spiritual progress, he gradually becomes sattvic. Amongst the three states, Satvik, Rajasic, and Tamasic, Satvik is considered to be the most preferred, as in this state, a human can know the inner dimensions of life. By keeping the 5 elements pure within us, we can attain this state. Earth element is the food that we eat. So if we have pure sattvic food, it makes us sattvic. Water acts in the same way. Having pure water is helpful. Whatever we intake can have negative and positive vibes depending on the way they are taken. And so taking water from a person who hates you will have negative vibes in it. So the social implications of being sattvic, I'm having so much fun just reading it. The social implications of being sattvic. The society sees many ups and downs, many invasions, wars, etc. All of this have a big impact on the social fabric of the country. However, if the people still manage to keep their values, ethics intact, so Indian culture, they're largely talking about Indian culture, from ancient times was formed from the point of view of spiritual progress. The way we sit, the way we stand, the way we eat, all were designed to develop the inner self. A person who ate non-veg, smoked, or drank alcohol was regarded as a wrongdoer in the past. It was a sin, and the person had an element of guilt inside him for what he was doing. So anyways, it goes on and on to talk about more and more of what sattvic properties are. And as you can see, my smile is just getting bigger and bigger. So is it wrong to go with sattvic and tamasic and go with those definitions? There is nothing right and there is nothing wrong. There is absolutely nothing right, and everything is simply one more step in understanding the self. In understanding the self. When so many people come to me and say, oh my God, where were you all my life? I went to this guru and I went there and blah, blah, blah. And, all I was looking for was you. And no, that's not the case. Whatever you needed at any point in time appeared. Whatever you were ready for at any point in time appeared. So when you were ready for totally being Satvik and totally being this, that, and the other, all of it has appeared in the right time for you. You, who all were you? I mean, you look at this life and you want to define yourself that I am this and I'm that, but who all have you been? You don't even know where all you have been, what all you have done. The very fact that you are coming and sitting in a place like this, where you are being told that everything is energy, and there is nothing right and nothing wrong that exists in the energies. And then this becomes the definition from where we operate, that everything is just an experience. Then these definitions, oh, I'm Satvik, I'm totally not Satvik, I am this and I am that. Those definitions itself will have no meaning at all for us. We exist then just simply looking at those definitions and being complete Satvik on days, being completely pure on days, and then being completely impure on days, simply receiving whatever experience we are meant to receive on that day from that energy. When we consider the term pure, Satvik has this whole association of pure. Look at even the word pure. Whenever you look at something that's organic, you go and buy something that's organic. Oh, this is organic milk. Oh, this is organic vegetable. This is organic fruit. Organic is the way to go. What is organic? Yeah, it has not been through some kinds of pesticides, maybe. It has come up the pure way, and it's going to be so much more expensive because the pure way is the more expensive way. But looking at it from the perspective of energy, the minute you term something as pure, you have termed many other things as impure. Many things have now become impure. As you eat those pure things, oh, fabulous, that is amazing, because now you're eating the most pure stuff. But when that pure is not available, or at some place now you have to eat the impure, all of the programs that you have created about what is impure and how much it's going to harm your body, all of these judgments, when we make a judgment towards one side, somebody came to me and said, I only want to be in these beautiful energies of joy. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be this. The minute we judge even our own anger as something not good, something impure, something that's not relevant, something that we don't want, the minute we reject something, that something is going to show up in so many different ways in our lives to create what? To create more fear. More fear. The minute you can't get something pure, the minute your air is not pure, I come from this place of huge allergies to just breathing, The air, if it was any which not pure, those were the days in Delhi. We didn't have all of these parameters to go with, and Delhi was a lot more clean. But even in those days, I had this huge allergy to dust. And as soon as I would be out in a little bit of dust, as soon as I was out, and forget out, if there is being, this room is being cleaned and there is dust in the air as the room is being cleaned, I would fall unwell. Can you even imagine the kind of fear that was already sitting in me with respect to, unhealthy? And then because those were the days of unaware, these definitions of unhealthy grew everywhere. I was in the US, and there's always, wherever you look, you will find only that which you are resonating at. So I constantly found more and more articles. I found everything that said to me that unless you eat this kind, unless you drink that, unless the water has to be pure. This is too much metal, that is too less metal, whatever it is. I was constantly going round and round in those definitions. And what was happening? My allergies were getting more and more severe. I didn't understand it then, of course. Those days were all about looking outside and saying, oh, see, I went out and ate at this restaurant yesterday. It must be that restaurant. Oh, I went and, did this, that water must be, it wasn't filtered water. It was this water and that water. It's the fault of that water. And growing in more fear, limiting myself more and more. I shouldn't be eating this. I shouldn't be eating there. I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be going out. So just limiting myself more and more. Those were my days of unawareness. And so when this path began, and when that beautiful line came to me one of those days, when that beautiful line came, whatever I eat is pure. Whatever I eat is Amrit. Well, Amrit is considered to be so highly pure. So whatever I eat is Amrit. What was I doing? I was simply changing that program in my head, which talked about pure and impure, and simply saying that whatever is coming to me today on my plate, it is being sent by money. And why would money send me poison? Why? And so when you begin to live in a little bit more surrender, you are okay with everything. If this, so what? If not, so what? And very quickly, as everything more and more became Amrit, it became Amrit. I noticed that all of my allergies simply vanished. Nowadays, when everybody says, oh, the Delhi weather is so bad and you can't be there, and now the Bombay weather is so bad, or the Bombay atmosphere is so bad, and the Bombay air is so bad. And all of those allergies which used to bother me then, well, none of them bother me now. I'm actually the only one who's out there roaming around in Delhi without even caring, what is the air pollution level today? Should we do this? Should we not do this? Just simply having fun through all of the air pollution. Why is that? Because I have broken my limited definition of pure, impure. The limited definition. When we are looking so much at being pure, look at your whole day. Look at your whole day and just simply, whether you look at your relationships or you look at what you eat or you look at what you drink, is it more impure or is it more pure? It is more impure. The whole world is more impure. Everything around you is all about impure. And how nicely, how neatly, we just simply reject the impure. When we reject the impure, we are actually rejecting the larger part of ourselves, the larger part of ourselves that is impure. And that impurity is perfect. The way we are, everything, the air we breathe, it's mixed with so many things. What we see, we don't go with, blinders saying, okay, I'm only going to see the right. I'm not going to see whatever is happening. I'm not going to. It's shown to us the right and the wrong, the pure and the impure. They come together for making our life perfect. As a matter of fact, the more impure we see outside, the more we are able to thank, okay, at least, in that space, at least that is not happening to me. I'm thankfully receiving a little bit more of the pure stuff. So impure, being impure, looking at impurity, according to me, it brings ourselves to more non-judgment. And being pure, what if whatever I read out, being Satvik is not doing this, not doing that, not doing this, not being that, whatever, not doing any of those things were described. What if we managed to be that? What if we were vegetarian? And what if we were non-alcoholics, we didn't take any drug, not even any medicine, because that's all drug. And we didn't take that also. What would it do to us? From my experience of having been a vegetarian for some time and seeing other vegetarians around me who sit in this thought of being pure, because I'm vegetarian. Because I'm vegetarian, I'm not killing people, I'm not killing organisms, and so I am more pure than you are. In my life, in my experiences, what I've observed is that when we pride ourselves on being so much pure, then what we are simply doing is increasing the judgment that we hold. that we hold for whom? We think that we are increasing the judgment for the world outside at large, but actually, there is no world outside at large. We are simply increasing the judgment for ourselves. We are hating those parts of ourselves that are not pure, those parts of ourselves which show us all the impurity. And actually, we are all about impurity. Even those, I constantly nowadays, when I meet any vegetarian, I'm just kind of, happy to point out to them that yes, you're vegetarian because you don't put meat in your plate. That's all that vegetarian. Being vegetarian means only this, that we don't, I'm vegetarian. And I understand that it only means that I don't put meat on my plate. Am I opening my mouth and inhaling and finishing off 1,000 microorganisms? Of course I am. And that's how it is meant to be. Even my pure vegetarianism can never be pure. It is mixed with impurity of all kinds, but I don't see it. I see only a very narrow definition of it. And from that, I describe myself as vegetarian. And what do? Then I begin to judge everybody who is impure, the ones who are eating non-veg because that's cruel, that's a sin, that is this, that is that. It doesn't matter what we are meant to do outside. It doesn't matter what roles. It doesn't even matter whether we are vegetarian or not. We can choose to be anything. You want to be vegetarian. This is not a push towards you becoming non-vegetarian. That would simply be an action into vegetarianism, an action into non-vegetarianism. And none of them matter when you have begun to understood that it's all about the energy. And in the energy, if you are going to judge your purity, then that impurity that also belongs to you is being rejected. And from all the places, when you attach yourself, this is attachment, to this term called purity. When you attach yourself, oh my God, this is the one thing that is coming to, Mani is talking about it right now through me. And he's talking about how much of, when we were growing up, how much of attention was paid to somebody being a virgin. So many families that the family wants a virgin for a bride. Virgin meaning pure. And impure is that if you have already been out with someone and had sex, now you are no longer even pure. And that would hold only for one particular gender, mostly for women. I don't think that there was ever a discussion if the man is pure or not, but that's how it was. And here again, if you were born a woman and if you faced that, then please understand, it wasn't the society that brought you all of that trauma of you being pure or impure through this process. It was your energy that chose those experiences. Those experiences were right for you in that moment. You came to experience all of that rejection of the self. From the rejection of the self, from the hurt of the self, the path opens to many different places. And the path must have opened for you also in so many different ways to be coming over here and sitting and listening to this, us making fun of how amazing those definitions of purity and impurity. So when our experience of self-rejection is over, we will no longer be required to look at this term of pure and impure. We are no longer required when anybody comes to me and says, okay, in your practices, you have all of these practices. What are we meant to do? Should I leave should I leave being non-vegetarian? What time should I wake up? When should I meditate? And all of that. And I simply laugh and I say, okay, that was where your path took me and you until now. And now the path from here is complete freedom. The path is of complete freedom, of limitlessness. The limitlessness that we can only understand when we release judgments. As soon as we put judgments about anything, for anything in our own minds, we are limiting ourselves. There is no acceptance of the whole self. We are limiting ourselves. I'm going to give it a pause. I see a lot of messages floating. So let's just see. Okay. So Abhilasha says, I have the most impure guru. I love that. Yes, totally. I'm totally unsattvic, and all her followers are also so unsattvic. Yes, that term is completely irrelevant when we are no longer sitting in the judgment of sattvic and unsattvic. Again, her sari is matching the butterfly. Okay. Yeah, the butterfly has all the colors. So no matter what color I wear, I think I will end up matching the butterfly. Thank you, Rohit. Rohit sent me this butterfly at the back. So thank you, Rohit, for sending me such a colorful butterfly that I can be matching that every time. All right. So as we were talking about the purity and the impurity, about the, wait just a second, somebody says, please talk about the homes and the home and yagnas. It is said that they purify the environment. Yeah, they do purify the environment for about a second. You know, the energies that are all there in the room, when the yagna, the transformation tool is the candle, And so what is a home and a yagna? It is the candle process. A fire anywhere is simply a transformational tool for transforming the energies. And so it gets transformed. Whatever energy is in that room, it gets transformed. If you are in that room, your energy gets transformed. And then what happens when you are unaware? The energy of the room got transformed. And what happened after that? The next moment, you didn't get transformed back to your own old energies. Of course you did. You got because what has not changed is your energy mechanism underneath. All of us in a room are going through a candle process, a yagna, and the yagna will take all the energies in the room and they will transform. We've also been, burning the candle for the gods. We, in every temple, we burn a morning diya or an evening diya, and we burn them for the gods. They need to transform their energies, not us. We burn ke like Bhagwan ka diya jala diya, Bhagwan ke liye diya jala diya, matlab Bhagwan ko apni energy transform karni hai, wo kar leta hai. He manages to change his energies through the diya that we put out for them over there. But through the diya, our energies get transformed in always being in one set. Sorry, where was the sentence only going? I was suddenly looking at the questions and the sentence went haywire. Whenever we are looking at our own energy, unless we look within to our own energies, how will we transform? Our transformation is through our observation of our inner self. And so in that place, when we sit in the judgment of anything that's pure or impure, or this is good or bad, whenever we think of ourselves as being pure, now suddenly we've increased our righteousness. We are doing the right thing. You are doing the wrong thing. There is no you outside. Every you outside is going to point back at parts of you that you are rejecting. So how many parts of us are we rejecting when we focus only on the pure? As I said, when you look outside, when we look at our lives, it is not largely pure and somewhat impure. As a matter of fact, everything is largely impure and somewhat pure, thrown in the middle, just so that we can have a comparison, just so that we can be experiencing the duality of it. How does this always end up happening? Whatever topic I'm thinking of that week morning turns out to be the topic of the webinar. It's called frequency. It's called being in the same frequency. The thoughts become alike, and that happens not just to you. It happens to many people. It even happens to people. Just yesterday, somebody sent me a gift, and along with the gift, they said, I was thinking about you, and I was thinking that I'm going to send you these earrings. And my 6-year-old granddaughter, as I'm looking at these earrings, the 6-year-old granddaughter says, oh, Meenal auntie would look nice in these earrings. No. And so has the Dadi mentioned anything about the earrings to the granddaughter? No. But the granddaughter has been listening to menial frequency meditations as well. And she's already in that band. And then you receive information. You receive information. This is all about just simply information being here in empty space, and you being in that same frequency band. You will tune into, not necessarily into the same kind of information, because there is so much information, but if you're in the same frequency band, it's easy to tune into the same information. And through that, you get to understand, wow, you get to understand the wow of energy, how everything is so simply, easily explained by being aware of the energy that you're in. If you are in menial frequency, if you've tuned in over there, even without your knowing, you might be catching some information from the menial frequency band, and that's all there is to it. Anyways, going back to the words pure and sattvic. So even if we are trying to lead, so many stories of when people left homes with kamandals in their hand and they went off to the forest. And then one angel, one apsara came dancing, and that was the end of their sattvic life. That was it. That was the end of their sattvic life. And then what did they fill themselves up with? They filled themselves up with so much guilt. So now when you look back at that kind of a story, can you understand what experience were they seeking? They were seeking experiences of righteousness, and then they were also seeking, because they went wrong, they were seeking the experiences of guilt, they were seeking experiences of being wrong, rejecting parts of themselves, and that is what they were seeking. The minute we drop these understandings of pure and impure, the minute we release, everything that is happening is imperfection. The air that I'm breathing is imperfection. Impure air, the more you think about impure air, what will it fill you with? It will fill you with fear. Now you'll go and buy some air, something with those air fresheners, not air fresheners. Can't remember of the term, but the ones that air purifiers. The air purifiers, you will go out and buy air purifiers. You will not want to move out. And when you do all of this, the minute you move out, what will you be? You will be fearful, and that fear will manifest as a disease. It will manifest as a disease. That is all there is to fear. When you fear, so many people with diseases of the autoimmune kind, and then when they sit in that fear that if I eat this, then this problem happens to me. And if I eat that, that problem happens to me. And so they leave the food and the problem disappears. Sure enough, the problem has disappeared. That problem that happened from that fruit is not happening anymore because you're not having that fruit. But that is the physical action, the physical body. What is still happening underneath all of that? That fruit caused you anxiety. That fruit caused you fear. And that fear you are still holding on to. You haven't released that fear. You haven't released your anxiety. If you see that fruit, you immediately reject it from the place of fear. It's not about going and eating the fruit, but it is about being able to see that as you are choosing what you eat, choosing what you drink, this doesn't suit me and that doesn't suit me. I came from the very same place. It wasn't that food didn't suit me. There were so many things that didn't suit me. Heat, I had allergy to heat. I've already talked about dust. I was allergic to peanut oil. I was allergic to hari mirchi, green chilies. I was allergic to, there was a long list. I even forget now what all I was allergic to. I was allergic to a dozen things. I've released those fears. When those things come in front of me, I no longer reject them. If I feel like eating them, if I feel like eating a green chili, I eat it. I simply look within to see, do I feel like it? I don't have to force myself. I'm not here to prove anything to anyone that, oh, my allergy is there or not there. But I am no longer afraid of eating. I love peanuts. So peanuts and peanut oil, though I was allergic to them, some kind of oil, I actually can't even remember which one it was. But Now, no longer I look into that space to say, oh, I should be avoiding this, I should be avoiding that. I simply just, if I feel like eating it, I eat it, and that's it. When it does come up as an allergy, when it does come up as an allergy at times, I simply look at it and say, oh, today my body is having this reaction. Only today. It's no longer, oh my God, my allergies. Today my tongue is getting into loops. So allergies and many different words. But so no longer that my allergies have come back. Oh my God, I should have been more careful. Simply, okay, today this was meant to be the experience. I was meant to experience that. And I let go of that. I look within to see, am I operating from a fearful space or not? And after that, if I feel like having that food, Satvik, Tamsik, Rajsik, whatever that food might be, I simply go ahead and eat it. But again and again, I remind you, many people who walk with me, they'll do the action first. They'll do the action first, not look within, say, oh, Meenal said we can eat anything. Meenal said this and Meenal said that. And then, so let's just eat this. And then 3 days later, severe cases of allergies, whatever. Because they forgot that Meenal also said, first look within and release the frequency that you are tuned into when you think of that food item or drink item or whatever it is that you are allergic to. Firstly, look within and in total earnestness, understand there is nobody else you're proving anything to. You don't have to lie to yourself. You have to be completely honest to yourself. Are you fearful or are you not? And if the answer is yes, I am fearful, then just simply keep looking within and release. What is the worst that will happen? Oh, I broke out into so many reactions and my life went from this to that, and the quality of life deteriorated, and this happened and that happened. Yes, all of that happened. All of that happened when you were still running the unaware marathon. Now, when you are aware, you are no longer that same frequency. You know how to shift your frequency. You can be at a different frequency. And so, firstly, choose the different frequency. And from that place, operate. From that place, from that source where everything is okay, all is good, everything is already in perfection. And not in fear frequency, but in abundance frequency and in masti frequency when you have something. So somebody just last month was doing one of my Expect Miracle programs, and she had a lot of sun allergies, and she had to wear certain kinds of clothes, couldn't be out in the sun for a long time, etc., etc. And then because she was in the middle of the program, so she remembered to do the Meenal frequency meditation. She also remembered to kind of look at her fears before she was leaving home. And she says, wow, I've never been able to be outside for such a long time because my body always reacts. And then there was no such reaction. I had such an amazing time. My allergy has been shed today. And so she shed some allergy that day and another allergy the next day. And she was noticing, she says, wow, these allergies are simply not coming anymore. And I said, yeah, because the allergies belonged to another frequency and you were that frequency. So easily we move from that frequency to our old frequency whenever any old reference is put in front of us. I'm allergic to this food. And I immediately put myself in the old allergy where I'm allergic to this food, not understanding that you do have another frequency of masti, you do have another frequency of fearlessness, which you can tune into and then try. After you've tuned into that new frequency, try, because the allergies exist in your old frequency, not in this new frequency of masti. In this new frequency of masti, everything that touches your skin, everything that goes within, everything that you drink, everything that you eat is simply Amrit. That's what it is. So we can sit with our own judgments of what is pure. I find many people in like, no, I want to eat I want to eat only organic. Go ahead, eat only organic. But the minute you are served something that is inorganic, simply pause and take a minute to see what all judgments, what all programs are you first sitting with before diving into that food item or that drink item. Because those judgments will come back and show up in your body. They will manifest as a disease, as an illness. Purity of the mind. This was purity of outside things, outside body, outside food, outside everything. Purity of the mind. At every minute. Oh, think. Wow. Let's just put this off. Before it rings again, for whatever reasons. Purity of the mind. Purity of the mind. When we think of, again, think pure thoughts, think good thoughts. Don't think this and don't think that. We've all figured out in life that there is no way that we can stop the thoughts that are happening. When the thoughts are happening in whichever direction they have started to happen, till the time we just focus on the thoughts, there is no way that we can turn the direction of those thoughts, especially if those thoughts are from fear, if those thoughts are from anxiety, all of those, they will simply take over. No matter how much positive thinking we want to do, the fear frequency we will keep tuning back into. So purity of thought. In that moment, your thoughts are completely pure. They are from pure fear frequency. They are completely pure. They are not to be run away from. They are from a completely pure fear frequency. Honor the frequency. Honor the purity of that frequency. Allow the frequency, accept it that it's just a frequency. It's just whatever you are experiencing, whatever emotion you are experiencing, the emotions are always pure. It's pure anger, pure fear, pure sadness, pure joy, pure masti, pure surrender. Always that, except for one frequency when it comes into the middle, and then you're sitting here and there. What is that frequency? The frequency of doubt. Now you're figuring out whether this is right or that is wrong, and this is the way or that is the way. And we are now sitting in the frequency of doubt. And now we are riding between both of these. And it's a very simple solution to be able to release that frequency of doubt and to be able to experience whatever it is. Even that doubt, we experience fully in that moment. We sit in a full moment of doubt, and then we can release the frequency of doubt. It's just a frequency. But to honor every frequency that comes our way, it's a pure frequency. It's just an emotion. It's just a pure frequency. We can experience it fully in a moment. We don't have to be in it. We don't have to be in it for a long time. We can simply fully experience it in a few minutes, in the moment, in the now, and then we can choose another frequency. That choice is not because this is more pure and that is less pure. It is simply that this is a more desired experience while I'm still in the body. I have preferences of experiences because I'm in the body. In the body, I wish to experience more joy. And so I will choose now that I know the machinery. So every thought is coming from the pure machinery underneath, and the machinery is the frequency. So whenever we are looking at thoughts and whatever directions the thoughts are coming from, and if you are sitting and judging your thoughts, saying, these are not the right thoughts, these are the wrong thoughts, I need to think differently, whatever, simply pay attention to the frequency underlying that is creating all of those thoughts for you. As soon as you hold on to that, that's the only question in 200 of these webinars, the only question I constantly ask you to focus on is, what am I feeling? Whatever that feeling is, that's creating your thoughts, purity of thought. Some people judge saying, no, these thoughts are wrong, thoughts about sex, thoughts about other people, the thoughts are wrong. You can't stop the thoughts. Those thoughts have come. And now what are you feeling? If you are feeling guilty for having those kind of thoughts, please understand that the nature of the machinery was guilt. And so for you to be able to experience guilt, some thoughts have to be thrown on your screen. And so all those thoughts that are going to create a guilty feeling on you are going to be thrown at you so that you can first be in those thoughts and then experience some guilt through those thoughts. So every time when you are stuck on a judgment of what am I doing? What am I doing if this is right or if this is wrong? Firstly, instead of jumping into action, into deciding whether this is right or wrong, simply sitting in a place of looking at the frequency by asking, what am I feeling? As I'm evaluating this being right and this being wrong, but I feel like doing this, I feel like doing the wrong thing. I don't feel like doing the right thing. I feel like doing the wrong thing. Simply look ahead and look in the past. So whatever is it that I am feeling, your emotion will actually give you an idea of what it is you are going to feel in the future as well through it. Because a guilt frequency is simply going to create more guilt for you to experience. And so even as you look into the future, what am I feeling right now? Oh, if I do this, this is wrong. Being wrong, what does it create in you? It creates a lot of masti in the now, but tomorrow I might regret it. Understand that the masti in the now is simply an experience that you are being given so that your regret, your guilt can increase. If your regret and your guilt is going to increase, and you can already see that that's your frequency, well, firstly, simply look within and do some releases to change your frequency of regret, to change your frequency of guilt. And then you will ask me whether I should do that wrong thing or not. The fun part is that that whole scenario, that drama got created so that you could experience a forward guilt, a forward regret. If you've already released the forward guilt and forward regret, chances are, very, very high chances are, that that entire drama itself would dissolve while you are working within. And that moment of, should I now do the wrong thing? That moment most likely will not arise only. However, if you go ahead and do whatever it is that is the wrong thing, again, after you are done with it, in that next moment of now, you can always look to see within, did you really address your regret and guilt, or has it come now? If it has come now, the work is within, because otherwise, whatever you are regretting right now will simply grow into many different scenarios and bring you more regret and more guilt only. So again, whatever frequency we are putting in the action, before doing the action, if we can be that aware, just simply to look to say, what am I feeling? Or once I do this, whatever I'm thinking, I'm doing the right thing. If I'm doing the right thing, what am I going to feel tomorrow? I'm doing the right thing, but tomorrow I'm going to feel very unhappy because I really didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it, but I thought it was the right thing to do. And so I did it. And now I'm feeling very unhappy. Well, the whole drama is not about whether you do the right thing, whether you do the thing from pure thoughts or impure thoughts. That whole drama is for you to be able to experience that unhappiness of doing the right thing, because there is no right thing, there is no wrong thing. There is simply the experience of that moment, and whatever experience is being created through that for you to experience the next moment as well. The more you look within, the more you will find yourself happily sitting and letting the moment pass. Let the moment pass, and you just simply sit in what you call as aware inaction. Because there is, sometimes people come to me and say, well, but I have to take this action or that action. What should I do? and I see that they are in this rush and they also have doubt, this is the right thing to do, or that is the wrong thing to do. All of this story of rush is being created so that they can experience anxiety. They can also experience doubt. And that is where it is being created from. And I simply tell them, breathe and let go. And right now, in this moment, what if you don't take any action? No, there are deadlines. Yeah, if you are fearful of deadlines, look for those deadlines and release the fear. Release the fear, because as soon as we release the fear of deadline, the deadline most likely dissolves. Most likely. I've seen it 100 times. It just dissolves. It was only there to give us the experience of the fear of that event, of the deadline, of that person, whatever it is. The fear is the frequency that is creating that drama. And so when we let go of that fear and simply sit in inaction, action not necessary, we sit in inaction, but we sit centered on the self. What frequency am I? What frequency am I? And when you change your frequency, from there, what is your action will automatically show up. The other things will simply fall off. The things that were creating confusion, the things that were, causing you so much of heartache and anxiety, all of those things will fall off when you begin to work on yourself. The path does become clear when you release the frequency of doubt and go more and more into the frequency of faith. Purity. So purity outside, purity inside. The only thing that we need to do is to release the judgment of purity itself. There's this one poem. I'd posted this poem a long time ago, and then it had just come a few days before as well. And this poem was all about me asking the sun, saying, with your intense heat, what is it that you do? And the sun says, I show you pure. I show you your purity. I take out the purity. I take out the purity. And I said, purity, but why do we need purity? Because in my mind, I was thinking only gold. And why does the gold need to be pure, and pure silver and pure gold? And why do we put so much of weightage on this is pure gold? All my life, anybody would ask me whenever I was wearing any kind of jewelry, and somebody would say, oh, is this pure gold? And I'd say, no, this is pure brass. This is pure brass. It is pure brass. So in my mind, the value of brass, has the same value as that of gold. And so it doesn't matter whatever it is that I'm wearing. But even when during this poem, when I was writing, and the sun said, I take out the purity, and I said, why does there need to be purity? Why does the gold need to be pure? Why does silver need to be pure? And the sun said, no, I only simply show you the purity, the pure brass, the pure copper. I just melt everything. The heat melts everything and brings out the purity. And so you too simply melt, and you will realize that you were already pure. So that was a poem. That's very bad a remembrance of that poem. The poem was very nice. I don't know how many of you must have read it, but it was posted on my Facebook a few days ago, and this remembrance was completely bad. But let's take a look at that. So karma yoga is not about right action, but aware action without doership as witness whatever action comes in front of the flow. Wow, never got it that clearly. What? 100 times I've only said that clearly, that it's not about the action. It's only about the energy that you are putting in. 100 times. No, make that 1,000 times. 1,000 times when I've talked about karma and saying karma is not that you are picking up a pen. I just conducted a karma. I just picked up a pen. This was karma, but it holds no energy. It holds no energy because this was just an action. It's not because it's so important to hold a pen. This is, I have to hold a pen. I look very important with the pen. All of that is what lends energy to the action. And the action is not important. It is always about the energy underneath the action. So yes, that's what you call karma yoga or any yoga. And then any which way you look at it, wherever you are sitting in judgments of yourself or another, of the purity of your action or the action of another, of the purity of what you eat, whatever is presented in front of you, then that purity is putting limits on yourself. And the journey at all times, is from fear to fearlessness. The journey at all times is from limits to limitlessness. So throw yourself open to some more experiences as you release the fear and move towards fearlessness. Even this, as soon as you think one has to be pure, one has to be this, one has to be that on a spiritual journey, one has to let go of this, one has to reject this. When you come to this path, all that I have understood is that every path is bringing you here. It's bringing you here to your own limitlessness. When you were not ready for being limitless, the path couldn't be put in front of you. So that path where you went through so many limits, where you went through so many judgments, that path was totally needed. It was your step. It was that chapter of that long novel, that long story that you are reading. Every chapter makes up the entire novel. You can't just be discarding chapters. So every step along the way, whatever you have thought till now has been instrumental in bringing you here. And now you have come to this place where you can. This is the opportunity where you can let go of your judgments and become a little bit more free. Any questions for me? Any more questions for me? Anyone wishes to ask? Okay, all right. We pick up any topics, all the topics, pretty much the same. We're all about only release the judgments, only releasing of judgments. The Satvik, Rajsik, Tamsik, we are all of it. We're not just one, we are not just two, we are all three of it. When I am Shiva, what is there that I am not? I am everything on this planet. I'm everything on this universe. Okay, so because we have always paid so much attention towards the word pure and given so much value to the word pure, today we just simply move a little bit in the other direction and we give ourselves value with the word impure. So take a deep breath in of the impure air that's right around you. Take a deep breath in of this impure air. And bring a smile to your face. This impure breath that's going in and giving you the next breath. Your next moment of life is being sponsored by this impure breath. So as you take on this impure breath, a silent thank you to this breath and to the impure air that we are breathing. And now, simply letting go of all the impure thoughts that are in your mind right now. All the impure thoughts and the pure ones as well. Simply creating a blank space in this now. Awareness brings us to this blankness. Blank. In this moment, neither pure nor impure, simply blank. But with the next breath, as soon as the next breath is in, with the next breath, we think of whoever that one actor is, whoever comes to your mind, and your relationship with that actor. and all the impurities in that relationship, all the inequalities in that relationship. One is up, one is low, one is down, one is behaving in a certain way, one is oppression, one is suppression, all of the impurities of that relationship. Simply bringing a person to mind, whatever name drops in for you, and looking at all of the impurities of the relationship and the experiences that you have received through that person and through this impure relationship. All of your experiences, beautifully impure. That is how they were meant to be. And so in this moment of now, thanking that actor for being wonderfully impure, thanking the actor for being so wonderfully impure, and thanking ourselves for being equally impure and participating in that experience. Impure, impure. And now, putting your focus on the food that you ate, the last meal that you had. Looking at all aspects of it and seeing, was it totally pure? Could anything ever be totally pure? Even when the food is on the table and then a fly will come in and sit on the food for half a second, and now the food in that parlance is impure. And yet we eat whatever we eat, and it sustains us as it sustains us. It gives us so many experiences. This food, the impure food that we take in. So thankfulness for all of the impurity of the food. Thankfulness for all the experiences that this impure food has brought to us. Experiences of pure fear through this impure food. So we thank all the experiences that we created so far. Putting the attention on ourselves, on our body, on our thought, on ourselves, the whole of us, where all have we rejected our impure self? What all attributes of the self do we not like? What all do we think about us as being wrong? Think of the places where you don't love yourself. Those are your impure places. You think that those are not the right parts of you. Those are not the right attributes. And you do everything to release those impurities out of you. But today, as we sit enjoying our impurity, simply thanking all our impure parts, the parts that are fearful, the parts that are anxious, the parts that are angry, the parts that are rejected, the parts that sit in jealousy, resentment, doubt, all of these parts that we normally look to separate from ourselves. We look to release those experiences, but first today, we are thankful for all those experiences. Thankful to my impure self. I am impure. I am impure. I am so impure. I am the most impure. Impure I am. And for that impurity, with that impurity, I am awesome. I am awesome. I allow, I accept all my parts, the entire universe I am, every attribute I am, everyone I am, the Brahman creator I am, the destroyer of the self I am, every pure thought I am, every impure thought I am all there is. Every manifestation of disease through every kind of impure thought I am. And I allow myself to be in impurity. I accept all parts of me, even those parts that are sitting in fear, even those parts that are sitting in anger. I allow, I accept no judgments towards my pure self and my impure self. No judgments of how life presents itself to me. I allow the life to play out as is. No judgment of the self, of this life, of my awesomeness. No judgment of my awesomeness. I am awesome, pure and impure. I am awesome. Be joyful in your impurity. Be joyful in this place of allowance and acceptance. You came to life to experience everything, pure, impure, and everything in the middle. Can you understand that till it is pure, everything is only impure? And that is who we are, impure in everything, impure in every moment, and completely awesome. All right, everybody, let's just see. Wonderful. Today's meditation was for me. You're amazing. You're an angel. Thank you so much. Lots and lots of love. Bye, everybody. Enjoy your impure selves and let the whole
Thank you. Thank you.
in their impure self, and you let the whole world enjoy themselves.